and today I'm going to be teaching you how to properly paint your nails. So first off, you're going to want to remove any excess nail polish that you have on and remove any extra oils off of your nails. These are not my natural nails, these are actually polygel, so I don't really need to do that. But if you do not have any nail extensions on, I do suggest wiping all the oils off to keep your nail polish on longer. So, to start off, first you want to do any nail prep to make that polish stay on longer. So, you want to push back your cuticles, and if you don't want to use a metal one, there's always wooden ones out there that you can use that are a lot softer on the cuticles. And especially if you are starting out, you are going to want to use a metal one. Not a metal one, a wooden one. So I already kind of prepped all my nails, but all you want to do is you just push it back. And if you do have quite long cuticles, you can always get a cuticle remover. They're like a couple bucks at like Walgreens, CVS, and the one that I use is Sally Hansen. So you just want to prep your nail, and since we are beginning, or you guys are starting out, you do not want to use cuticle cutters, any type like these, because you can seriously damage your nail if you do not know how to do that. And if you want to, you can use some nail clippers to just get them down to the size you want and file them. You can get packs of these on Amazon for very cheap, but for your natural nail, I would suggest using a one of these nail files, because it is a lot easier and softer with the natural nail. So prepping the nail or any base coat, I would suggest using one of these on your natural nails, and I wouldn't suggest using these type of nail preps and all that, because these are for nail extensions and gel. So I would just start with that. But since these again are not my natural nails, I won't be using this today, but you can pick any one of these base coat at Walgreens, Walmart, and they're fairly cheap. It depends also which brand you get, because I don't suggest starting off with a super expensive brand if you are just getting into nails. So, where is it? Here it is. So when you are actually painting your nails, and if you are not very steady, you can use one of a brush to clean up your cuticles and your nails with your acetone. But if you do not want to use that, you can always take one of these and just quickly get it off so it does not stay on your skin, which is not the best. Or you can use liquid latex. I picked this up at Amazon, so and any of this stuff you can get off of Amazon, and I will link in the description products that I like to use. So starting off, I'm going to be using this cupcake polish, and the color berry looking good. And when you first are starting out, I would suggest not using a very clumpy nail polish and sticky, but if you do, you can always add a couple of drops of acetone in there, or nail polish remover, into the nail polish to make it thinner. So when you are actually painting your nail, you want to not pick up so much, so make sure there's not too much on the brush, but not too little. So you're just going to want to start painting, and I usually start at the bottom just so I could see where I'm going at and make sure to get the ends of your nails. So there won't be any early chipping. And with this, you want to be extra careful, and if you do have a little extra, you can always just bring it down to the end. And you do want to be very careful. When I started doing this, I would hold my breath a lot, and if you don't want to do full like this, you can always just do quick little taps, which I always found very helpful. And see, I got it on my skin, so I'm going to take my little wooden tool here and quickly get it off. Or you can always just use your other finger. And that is not coming off, but I will fix it after. So now you're going to let those dry, and you're going to want to do your other fingers. So let me just quickly do that. Okay, so I have all 5 of my nails painted, and now you are going to want to let them dry, and make sure do not really use your hands at all when they are drying, because you don't want to get any smudges, which are not the funnest to fix. So you're just going to want to keep your hand here. You can do a little back and forth, you can blow on them, which is a lot easier than having to actually, take off your nail polish if you did completely smudge it and start the whole process over again. So let these sit, I'd say for about a couple minutes, and then we'll start on the second coat. Okay, so it has been about 5 minutes and all my nails are dry, and we are going to start on the second coat. I usually do around 2 to 3 coats, and again, you want to make sure since you are starting out, you're very careful. And honestly, if you have longer nails, it's going to be quite easier because you have more space to be able to drag your brush. But again, around that cuticle, you just want little taps, little taps, and just drag it out if there is little like balls of paint. You want to cover the edges. Oop, I'm not in frame. Cover the edges, and you want to make sure you don't get around your cuticle so then it doesn't chip, and then you won't have to redo your nails as fast. I can usually keep nail polish on for around about a week if I do this whole process. And again, be very careful, and if you want, you can always go this way and just do a little swoop if that is easier for you. And again, cover the tip and repeat those steps on all the other nails. You just want to keep going and going. And cover the tip once again, and 2 more. You're doing a great job. Alrighty, cover that tip again, and see, and if you do that, just bring it out and just swoop it along. And I did get it on my cuticle there, so maybe that doesn't work for me, but maybe it works for you. So we are going to take this little wooden thing and make sure to not smudge your nails while you are doing this, because now you won't have one layer to just take off, you will have 2. And you do want to make sure you are waiting for your first coat to dry or any layers in between, because if you don't let it dry completely and then you put a second one on, it will get all gummy and it will be like squishy and soft, and that's not what you want when you're trying to achieve a beautiful manicure. So you're going to let these dry, and since there is another coat underneath this, second coats or third coats usually take a little bit longer than first coat, so I'm going to give it the same time that I let the first coat to dry, just a couple extra minutes. So go let them dry, just go on your phone or something and make sure to not do too much with your hands. Alrighty, so I let these sit for about, I'd say, less than 10 minutes, and they are now dry. So since this is a more opaque kind of polish, I'm not going to go for a third layer because I just feel like I don't need it in this manicure. So next you are going to want a top coat, and I really suggest out of any of these products I showed you to really invest in a good top coat. This one I just got at Walgreens. It obviously is more on $10, I think it's $10-12 for this. I do believe so. I can't really remember, but I would say this is a very good one because it makes them nice and glossy and keeps the polish on there longer. So another reason why you want to let your nails dry before adding a top coat is when you would go to apply it, and if it's not dry, you will get your color transferred onto your brush, and any other times that you go to paint your nails, that color will be there from before, and sometimes it gets in the actual top coat and it becomes not so clear, which is not so fun. So you're going to want to do this, just a nice layer. I like to do them a little thicker just to make them glossier, and again you want to wrap the tip on your top coat. And obviously if you get this in your cuticle or anything, it is a lot easier than having, well, to get it out in actual polish. So this I can usually do pretty quickly, and top coat for me, the ones that I buy are usually pretty fast at drying, so if everything underneath it is already pretty dry, you should be done with your manicure in no time. And usually doing both of my hands takes about 30 to 45 minutes, so actually not that long and a lot cheaper than going to any nail salons. And right now not everyone wants to go there because of events in the world right now and things still opening up and not everyone wanting to be that close. So that's why I'm teaching you. You want to make sure in any of these polishes that you open that can potentially dry out, you want to completely close the lid, otherwise it will be all dry and crusty and it won't work. So I do believe this one is a little, I did leave it open. Is it this one? See, this one is a little sticky because I did leave it open, so I will have to buy a new top coat. Not top coat, base coat. So you're going to want to let this dry for about the same time that you let your first coat of your nail polish dry, and then we move on to cuticle oil. Okay, so now that you have a beautiful manicure, this isn't required, but I do suggest it that you invest in some cuticle oil. You can either make some on your own. There are other YouTube videos about that, how to make your at-home nail oil, and there's some treatments to make your nails grow faster, but I just use some good old nail oil to replenish what I put my poor cuticles throughout the day. And I usually put cuticle oil on every day, sometimes twice a day. I'll usually just do it when I'm sitting at my computer. And yes, it can get a little oily at some times if you are trying to do something and you have cuticle oil on. So you're just going to let that sit in. And it's okay if you go do stuff now, but make sure you let your top coat fully dry before you add your cuticle oil. And sometimes top coats take a little longer, so if it is not drying in the time that I said so, it's okay. But now you have a nice new manicure and you're ready to take on the world. So I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, If anyone has any suggestions for a next video, I am here. You can just leave them in the comments if you want to see how I did these polygel nails, how I do gel nails. I am happy to do anything. So thank you. Bye.